and thank you for joining Carrie Rios and myself, Amber Tripp, on our first expedition into podcasts for Clark College community and continuing education. So we wanted to really celebrate the instructors here and kind of pick their brains or interrogate them about what their inspiration is and why they're teaching these classes, what the classes are about, and maybe a little bit about them so we can let the community know what the heck Clark College CCE even offers or is all about. So without further ado, Craig, I'm going to have you introduce yourself briefly with your name and the class that you teach at Clark College CCE. Take it away.
I'm Craig Lewelling. I teach stocks begin with 2000. So I teach the stock class, as everybody calls it.
Okay. Well, so what inspired you to teach stocks? So it's called Stocks Part 1, begin with only $2,000.
Right.
What inspired you to teach this?
Yeah, I worked for a money manager years ago, and he had the class in Portland Community College.
Okay.
And so I attended that class, and from there he got me teaching it. And once you start teaching it, you actually learn the subject better.
Sure.
So from there, that was this is my 26th year teaching this in different colleges.
Wow.
So there was a time I was teaching in 4 different community colleges during the week, Tuesday through Friday. So I've taught here since 2000. I taught Portland Community, I taught Clackamas Community, and I taught Central Oregon Community, and it was 4 nights a week for a while. I was 35 then, but now I just teach Clark. So, but it keeps me fresh. It keeps me on top of my game for my professional career. And then I've got a lot of experience. I started investing in 1983. The computer wasn't even invented then, and so I sort of rose up with everything. There was no information, and I came alive with the internet. I've grown up with that internet. There's a lot of bad information coming out on the internet on a lot of different things, and so I'm in a pretty unique position here.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And so were you always interested in stocks? Like, it sounds like you invested early, so.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know what got me interested. I can remember, I think I do. I can remember as a kid, the game Monopoly.
Oh, yeah.
There was another board game actually called the Stock Market.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
And I actually looked at it. I'm trying to get it. I'm remodeling a building. I'm trying to get this whole game. It was invented in 1965.
Wow.
And so it's different than the stock market, but it works kind of the same way. And I think that's what originally did it when I was younger, just kept playing that game. And then, I just kept saving. I'd work odd jobs when I was younger, and I just kept saving it up. And then my father passed away when I was 18 suddenly.
Wow.
And my uncle was always involved in the market, and he found out I had money in the bank. And back then, you couldn't go directly to fund companies. You had to go through brokerage houses. There were no discount brokers. So I went to talk to Shearson Lehman. I had $5,000 in the bank, and they wouldn't even look at me until I had $6,000. So I worked my butt off the next summer and got $6,000. That's where I started.
Wow.
Yeah.
The difference between 5 and 6, huh?
Yeah, that was it. Today you can start for as little as $50 a month.
Right?
Yeah, a different world.
6,000. If you got 50, you're good.
And I think the Dow back there, was probably around 300, if I remember right.
Wow. Yeah. That's probably. That's wild. Though.
Yeah.
Yes, I was born before then.
We talk about all that in the class, by the way.
Okay, cool.
That's
So
now
I have a question for you. So did you win the stock market game a lot?
It was always my brother and I. It was probably even. It was probably 50-50. Yeah. You actually get shares of companies and stuff, and I'm trying to find that game. It wasn't as popular as Monopoly, but it's out there. It's a pretty cool game.
Huh. Yeah. I have literally never heard of it, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
If you find it, you're going to have to bring it to your class, say.
Yeah, we found it online, so I don't know if we've ordered it or not, but I have to. You just reminded me. I have to make myself a note.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Find Stock Market, the game, the board game.
Yeah, it's called Stock Market.
Huh. Who knew?
I know.
I'm seriously, the things I've learned today have been so interesting.
I don't even, that subject came up not that long ago, and somebody was asking me, and I don't even remember how I remembered that, but yeah, I'm sure that was it, because by my early teens, I was already kind of getting an inkling of I wanted to know more, and I didn't really know the avenues. So it's one of those things you put in the back of your mind, and when my father passed away, my uncle introduced me to it, I was all over.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Slam dunk. And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, it is.
So who would this class be designed for? Who's your like the people that would really benefit from it and be interested in it? Or maybe just benefit from it, because I think that there's maybe people that don't know they're interested in it, but they would benefit from it.
I think two classes of people. People that just want to get educated more on how to deal with the stock market. I literally teach people how to look for companies, how to invest in them. I teach them how to sell companies, how to take profits, how to manage their portfolio. And then I think the other group of people is people that for some reason we get a lot of people that come in, have just come in inherited some money, or maybe they're getting ready to retire. That we get quite a few. It's been more of a balance here in the last few years, but years ago, I would say in the first 20 years, it was a lot of the older people that were getting ready to retire. They didn't know what to do. And so I'd say, anybody who wants to learn more about the market, and people are getting ready to retire, they get an inheritance, they don't know what to do, it's a great class. And it's how we do it. And I tell people at the get-go, you're going to be overwhelmed in this class because it's all information. Nobody's telling you anything. It's just information, how you do it, and people leave with their heads spinning. It's been a great class.
Kind of like my head that's spinning right now, but I'm not leaving. I'm staying here to the very end.
Well, it's been an interesting class. The colleges over time have tried to get me to allow like up to 30, as many people as they want to each quarter. I've just found over time that 15 to 20 person class is just so much more manageable. It's a better class. It's a better one-on-one. When you get to 30 people, I don't know what it is. Strange questions come out, but questions come out and they slow you down. You can't get through the topic. So sure. 30 just becomes unmanageable. 18, I kept it 18 just seems to be perfect. And it's a class, and Terry, you would know more than anybody, but I think it's a class that before the pandemic would fill, and we'd always have a waiting list. Yeah. So it gets a good reputation. I've had clients take it.
Yeah, sure.
So.
Yeah, the pandemic has certainly changed things. I mean,
yeah, it has.
Nobody knows up from down anymore, and there's so much misinformation and hesitation and fear. And so my question then would be, is it as hard as people think it is to do stocks? Well,
what makes it hard is if you want to make money at it, you've got to do a lot of research, and you got to stay on top of it. It needs to be a hobby at the very minimum. People will buy a stock they heard from somebody or something in the news. Dutch Bros right this week thought, everyone wants to buy it, but nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows, what are you buying? What does it look like under the hood with that stock? And nobody knows what I'm talking about. And so we teach people all that in that class.
Right? Very cool.
Yeah.
So this will be a good class to follow up Adulting 101 with. You learn how to be an adult, and then you learn how to take that adulting further.
What is Adulting 101? I just saw the credit union was offering that. What is that?
Oh, yeah. Clark College actually offers it too. It's a very interesting class. It teaches people how to actually be adults and be responsible with their choices so that they can have a better outcome in life.
Interesting.
Financially, there's a very strong tie to the financial side of it. So
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Carrie and I decided we should have a adulting reboot for people like me and maybe Carrie, who just need to remember how to be an adult and make better decisions, because I made some bad ones, and I need to be retaught how to do that.
Yeah, making better choices the second time around, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, if only we could start over what we know now.
Right.
I know.
Adulting, redux, something.
Yeah, reboot, and then also Command Z. So on your computer, Command Z undoes the thing. So I need to undo like the last 15 years. And then adulting reboot. And then stock parts 1 beginning with only $2,000.
That would be after that.
Yeah, this is a good trajectory.
The advanced course.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. So tell me one or two things about that would help people who are on the fence, or like maybe considering it but not sure, that would get them over that fence and say, oh yeah, unreal.
It just depends on what you want. If you're looking for a fast answer to a question, which we do get those people. On average, I probably get 1 or 2 people that come the first night, it's not for them, and they leave. Mm-hmm. That's been every year I've taught. If you're looking for a quick, easy answer, this isn't the class. And if you're looking for a quick, easy answer, you shouldn't be investing. Investing isn't that easy. Investing takes, it takes a subconscious, it takes a feel to it. And to get that feel, you've got to research. And so I teach, if you hear that noise, is my crazy cat in the background. I forgot he was in the house. He's a Siamese, by the way, so that'll explain it.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh my God, this cat. Anyway, sorry, I forgot he was in here. Anyway, it's a lot of information, but I teach exactly how to do it, how I've done it for years. It's worked. It will make you money. But if you're looking for a fast, quick, easy, fast answer, I tell people don't invest in the markets because there is no such thing. Go to Vegas. It'll be much more enjoyable and get it over with quick. Right? And the market shouldn't be about gambling. And unfortunately, they become that in a lot of ways. But they don't need to be gambling. There's a lot of safe. The market can be very safe, and it's better than the bank. So at 0% interest. So that's what we teach in there, and we teach the history of the markets. We teach what they mean. What does it mean when I say the market? We teach the buying rules, what to look at. We're looking at companies, how we look at them, where we find them. So it's if you're interested in investing for sound investing, this is the class. If you're looking for a fast answer, this is the class for you.
That'd be like too good to be true.
Right.
Right. And then the market isn't like Sally's Flower Shop and the Saturday market. That's not what we're talking about.
And there's always a fight with the title. But I don't change the title because I don't know what it is with this title, but it always pulls people in. And when I screw with the title, we lose that interest. But the title tends to be confusing. I'm not sure why. Literally, it's how do you start with 2,000 and how you do it.
That's not $2,000 in your bank, and that's all you have. That's $2,000 that you can comfortably invest.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. So I go through that. I go through that in the first night. I just really explain the title and what it means and what the objective of the class is, and so that helps a lot. But there's always one or two people they were looking for something different. I'm not sure what really, but the description of the class I think is very accurate. So who knows?
Well, I think sometimes if you're not kind of told or given your expectations and set the expectations correctly, and begin with only $2,000, those sound a little bit like, we'll just take that $2,000, put in the slot machine, and in a couple of nights I'm golden, man. It must feel like a betting title or something, but it connects with people and it draws the people in. I screwed with the title, trying to make it clear, and then we lose interest. And then people will say, "Oh, you should teach more classes." I've taught basics of investing. I have so many different classes. I've taught the bond markets. People wanted that. We don't get the interest in that, and then people wonder why I don't teach them. It's like, well, you gotta have people to come to the class, and so when people don't sign up, it's all about the title of the class. Sure. Yeah, that's the copy. That's the marketing part that works. Yeah, for sure.
And this title, I'm telling you, has worked for years. So in several different colleges.
I'll tell you what, Craig, we're not going to change the title.
Nope.
No, I'm not changing it. No.
You're not changing the title.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome. Is there any little nuggets you can give us, or any little things you want to share before we bring this kind of to a wrap?
I can't think of anything. I think if you're worried at all about the markets and the level they're at and the things that are going on out there, we address all that. We try to take that worry out. We try to make people understand. And when you look at the syllabus of the class, we want people to understand more. We try to make them little basic economists, if you will. We make them understand, what the Federal Reserve is and why it's important. We make them understand interest rates and why they're important. We make them understand tax rates and why they're important. And I really spend a lot of time, though sometimes I don't think I come across well with some of the responses, but I really try to show people that it doesn't matter what politician wins office. The good news is we're investing in companies, not politicians. I really try to, because people will invest based on who wins an election, and people will lose that bet.
Well, sure, because they're only in office for 4 years to 8 years at max. I mean, you're in theory investing for longer than that. Yeah,
in terms of investing, where's the opportunity? Whatever president gets in there, whatever Congress gets in there, whatever policies are there, whatever they do, there'll always be an opportunity.
Yeah. Do you also talk about how that even though we're in debt so much, we can't just go out and make more money at the mint? We can't just go mint more money because that just doesn't work.
Well, we are, but we talk about the risk to that and what could happen long term.
But we can't just make enough to completely take care of the debt. There's a reason why you can't do that.
But I try to show the process and what happens when you do that. And that's where you really got to pull don't worry about the politics for a minute. Pay attention to the process and what happens when this happens, and I don't want to bore anybody, but I was listening to the radio yesterday, and it's great that we want the wealthy to pay more taxes, but when they print more money, and you can look at this historically, those dollars go to the wealthy, and then the wealthy end up putting that goes into the stock market. That's what happens. And so it's just, I don't know, it's all the politics of people trying to get into power, into office is really incredible. And people listen to this. And so we try to put the facts in there so they can make better, get politics out of it, your decision making, and look at, we want to follow opportunities, not who the political party.
Well, that's good. I mean, you're giving information and not, solid information to hopefully set people on the right track to make their decisions, political or otherwise. But at least you have those bare data facts.
We try to separate it. Doesn't matter who you're voting for. Investments are a different world.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Carrie, you have anything to add or any questions for Craig?
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about all the other classes that Craig could teach, and I'm thinking there's this whole the whole theory of the politics don't matter, and why.
Yeah.
And it's not as long. Maybe it's just an hour lecture on if you're thinking about doing this or investing, the politics shouldn't matter. And then that sets them up to take stocks, part 1.
Yeah.
Take stock in their stock.
I had, to give you an example, I had a client back in 2000 when Bush won the election. He was so upset that he took $400,000. They lived down in Mexico, and they took $400,000 and transferred it to what they thought was a charity to go down there, and they lost every dime of it. So you don't make decisions based on who went into office. You'll make poor decisions and they'll be horrible.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Good point. So the other question I have that is completely unrelated to stocks, but you've got me thinking about the financial markets and whatnot, is the cryptocurrency. Is that something that you are involved in at all? And of course, I'm always looking at, should we have classes about it? And everybody's asking the questions.
If it has to do with investing, I've looked at it. With cryptocurrency, and we'll go over this in the class coming up, just think, and this is what I try to teach people in the class, think these things through. Don't just listen to somebody that's had somebody that got on early on and they went through this ride. Think this through. Think about 9/11 for a minute and think about the Patriot Act. What was the point to that Patriot Act? It was to follow the financial transactions in our banking system. 46% of the transactions in Bitcoin today are illegal. What do you think is going to happen here? And it's not just America. It's going to be all the industrialized nations. These governments are going to come down on us. On top of that, you got the U.S. dollar is being digitized. The Chinese currency is being digitized. Those are going to be backed by central banks. Are you going to want to put your money with cryptocurrency or with a digitized dollar? What do you want backing that? Tell me what's backing cryptocurrency. It's nothing but a pyramid scheme when you really look at it. There's nothing there. And what concerns me on cryptocurrency is the amount of companies that are taking payment for that today. These governments are going to start coming in, and the first nasty next terrorist attack, they're going to come in there hard on that.
That's good insight. Very good insight. I haven't been buying into the cryptocurrency at all, but I've been seeing it so many places, and I did take a second and go, maybe I should do something about this. And then I was reading about it, I'm like, maybe not so much. So
yeah, that's what I'm talking today. It's like when you're trying to understand something you can't understand, it's too confusing, don't buy it.
Really, really actually understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think crypto's had its day. Blockchain's a whole nother deal. I think that's going to be huge, but I think crypto's had its day. But we'll see. I could be wrong. But there's nothing there I want to invest in.
What did you say? Blockchain?
Blockchain.
Oh.
It's where digital is really coming in and making processes and things a lot more streamlined. It's going to change the financial world in a big way.
Sure.
I could spend another hour on that, so I won't bore you.
Well, I don't think it's boring. I have to tell you, I'm taking notes. There are classes here. I am mining for these classes, and blockchain is one. It's interesting. My alma mater sends out their lovely magazine with all of the money they made off of me. Has half the thing is about blockchain, and I keep putting it to the side and saying, I got to read this, and I haven't yet, but it seems to be all the buzz. So
it's kind of complicated. If I try to read as much as I can, so you keep learning. That's the stock market. Even you just keep reading about it. Different angles, different analysts. Pretty soon you can form your own opinion. It's that intuition is what I got to get. If I can get people to walk away from that class and realize they got to figure out their own intuition, that's how you make money, is on intuition. And you do that by educating yourself.
Yeah, when you really know your stuff.
Yeah.
You can tap into that intuition.
And that's true. And then we go over real estate too. It's true in the real estate market. Same thing, right? Money's money. And we talk, and real estate's part of this class, and we go through. And there's a lot of concerns I have on the real estate market. We'll be talking about that in this class too.
Dude, the real estate market is just crazy right now. Super cray-cray. Way cray-cray. Crayfish cray-cray.
All you have to do is think back. Everybody sort of remembers 2000 still, and the tech bubble. If you just think back to then, and just money is money, emotions are emotions. This real estate market's no different than the tech bubble in 2000. Everybody thinks they need to have one, and I have trustees. I have people in the trust bank that are high up in trust parts in the banks. I had somebody the other day, they're offering 670. They were willing to go up to 675 with no inspection. It's like, better than that. There's no house in my mind ever that's worth the bidding war, especially without an inspection. I'd rather go down to Vegas and put it on the roulette wheel.
I feel like you just need to get to Las Vegas, Craig.
I know. I'm thinking I bet on red.
Just get out of town and go to Vegas. Take your money with you.
So we go over all those markets. Money's money. Wherever it's going, you're going to have tops. You're going to have bottoms. And we discussed some of the elements of the tops and the elements of the bottoms and what to look for. You're seeing a lot of things that are showing us that the real estate market is topping, and it's this greed and frantic that is one major one.
Sure. Well, that makes sense.
And it will not be. And people think, we're going to have another financial meltdown like 2008. Well, we might be, but it won't because of real estate. It won't be the taxpayer that bails them out this time. People have a lot of equity tied up in this real estate, and that concerns me.
I'm not selling my house anytime soon, just for the record.
Yeah.
We're just gonna squat in it for a while.
Yeah. One of the things, you tell me when you want me to be done. But one of the things I'm really looking at right now is I think. It's been 13 years since we've had any kind of recession. I don't look at last year as a recession. That was a pandemic. It was a blip. So that's historic. On average, we get every 4 to 6 years we get a recession. They're healthy. They get speculation out of the market. That's how we go higher.
You talking about 2007?
2008, yeah.
2008.
That was our last recession, the last true recession. When you look back over, and I have data that goes clear back to the early 1900s. So when you look back over the last 120 years, and I'm positioning my clients this now, it's like, why don't we plan for the worst and hope for the best at this point? This thing is cycling, right? So when we look at the worst, I won't give the class away, but we look at the cycles. I can tell you this: the worst recessionary time was not the Great Depression. I'll leave it at that.
Cliffhanger.
The hanger.
Love it.
There's a cliffhanger right there. All right, folks. So thank you so much, Craig, for being on here and giving us the cliffhanger to get you in the class.
Yeah. Now that's my dog barking.
Awesome. Dog and cat. Awesome. So you can actually sign up for the class, Stocks Part 1, begin with only $2,000, and learn a wealth of information from Craig. Just go online to cce.clark.edu. make sure you click on classes, and then it'll be under the personal finance section, which is pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you needed that tidbit. Or you can call 360-992-2939, and some lovely person on the other end of that phone will pick it up and register you also for that class. You will find the most up-to-date information on the website. So the who, the what, the where, the when, the how, the why, the cost, the everything you ever wanted to know will be up there. So check it out. And again, Craig, thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing talking to you and learning a little tidbit here and there. Cliffhanger. Dang it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. We'll see you at the class.
Yeah, right? All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.